And welcome back, everyone, to part 6 of What If Naruto had Zanpakuto, the Benihime edition. And since I'm all set up here, I might as well have Benihime in my hand while I talk about Benihime. So, part 6. Last time on Naruto What If, we had Naruto finding out about his father, about who Minato really was. Now, Naruto didn't pry at the time about his mother, but he eventually would probably, but as Benihime has been talking, he's learned who his mom was, too, through that. He just decided not to pry Jiraiya too much on the subject at the time. But beyond that, though, Naruto did finally master. He got down the Rasengan. He got it down, which is great, because now we're dealing with a very bitter, drunk woman coming out here. There's no other way to put it. A very bitter and drunk woman. By the by, I was having a discussion, and I think I brought this up a while back during the last one, the Naruto went Rogue Stark Village, what if? And look, the discussion got to a point where I couldn't technically argue anymore because the guy was technically right, but he was right, or they were right in a way where I didn't agree with why they were right. What I mean by that is we were discussing about how Tsunade wasn't coping, and how I weren't really a fan of how I was portraying Tsunade in terms of, how she was handling things, and didn't think we should be comparing status backstories. You can't quantify that. Okay, so first off, in a fictional setting, I think you can quantify that. Let me rephrase that. In real life, you should never try to compare sad stories, your life, how hard you should never do that in real life. But we're talking fiction. It's very okay it's a lot easier to compare them in fiction. It is fiction. They're not real characters. But second, we were talking about I was arguing the fact that what Tsunade was doing wasn't coping because she wasn't trying to recover it all. At that point, she was accepting everything and just abusing her body with alcohol, gambling constantly, putting Shizune through crap. And I don't count that as coping. But the person did ultimately go on to say that, give me literally like the textbook, the definitions of coping and the different types of coping. And one of the versions of coping fit that description. In essence, one of the versions of coping is not coping. And first of all, let's angle my head a little better. And I can't argue with an actual definition. I don't agree with that concept. I mean, let me rephrase that. I agree. I accept the fact I was wrong in terms of like a textbook definition. But it makes me wonder when that definition was set, because I'm like, how did we get to a point where not coping becomes a definition of defined form of coping? That makes no sense. Like the way that is defined then is basically there is no world where you're not coping in some way then. And that just doesn't make any sense. I imagine to me in my head, a version of coping, no matter what the version theoretically is something where you are dealing with and processing and recovering in a certain way. It may take forever, but you're doing it. But if you're actively going against recovering, that to me isn't coping. So, and openly avoiding the tragedy or letting it define you, like Tsunade was doing, I don't consider that coping. But for some reason that is a definition of coping, and that doesn't make any sense in my head. I digress. We're up to 4 minutes now, and I haven't even really started in the what if. So Naruto and Jiraiya finally find Tsunade and Shizune. Jiraiya. Isn't it the day for old friends, as they did meet up with Orochimaru earlier in this version? And it's like Orochimaru and so they're playing their card game. And ultimately she loses, and she starts bad mouthing Hokages, and just it's a fool's errand. No, everyone who wanted to be Hokage just died a fool's death. They were all fools. I can't remember exactly how she put it, but yeah, she was being pretty harsh on the Hokages for really no reason other than because her lover and her boyfriend had a dream to be Hokage. They died. So she decides to disrespect everyone by just being like, everyone who has been Hokage was a fool. Like, yeah, not cool. This adds an extra punch to Naruto's reaction because he's now only recently learned that his father was one of the Hokage. His father was the fourth Hokage. And one of his role models, his heroes. And so Naruto doesn't just snap like he does in the original. I can't remember. Did he just get in her face or did he get on the table in her face? I think here Naruto is a little bit more controlled because he's a bit more mature here. He's a lot more analytical. He's able to really kind of look at both sides, look at the options in front of him, and process things from there. But that does not mean he's still not Naruto. Almost never in these versions is he still not Naruto in terms of how he reacts to certain things. And here, yeah. Now, granted, again, he's not getting up on the table, but he is getting in her face. Like, it's like you shut up, you old hag. So you have no right to talk about the Hokages like that. What the hell you even know? It's like, and Tsunade gets in. It's like, you got a lot of nerve. Who is this, Brett? Naruto Uzumaki, Kushina Minato's boy. And because now Naruto knows, so there's no reason for him to necessarily hide. He's not obviously calling him the son of the fourth because they're in a public setting still. There wasn't a lot of people in that bar, from what I remember, but they're in a public setting regardless. But Tsunade does go wide-eyed because she now realizes immediately, like, God damn it, he's a spitting image of that boy. Say, I see how it is. Your daddy was the fourth Hokage, and he's the one who died, and he died, and you're all butthurt about it. Well, take a number, okay? It's like we all got lost lives. Like, yeah. And Naruto again gets nervous. This time though, I think he does grab her by collar, not realizing he's probably exposing a little bit of her cleavage. But he's not focusing on that at all. He deals with Benihime in a very loose drink dress a lot of the time. So he's actually, that's a side note. Naruto's probably become very accustomed to Benihime's never naked in his head. But from what we can tell based on what Kanabarake Benihime looks like, Benihime is probably not scantily clad, but she's wearing very loose-fitting clothing, exposing a lot of her body, particularly a lot of her chest and like cleavage area. And she, at least from the design, seems to be a very attractive woman. So Naruto's probably not as gun shy around beautiful women's bodies as he once was. I mean, granted, he's probably very much a guy and be like. But he respects Benihime. He doesn't perv on her at all. I mean, they probably have a very nice relationship, all things considered. But he now has a bit more of he has a bit more matured appreciation for the female form without being a pervert. He's still a pervert. He's a kid. He's a kid going through puberty. Of course, he's still going to be a pervert, but he can at least be much more respectful. Point being, though, he's got his face it's like you really it's like my dad, your sensei, the third Hokage, died. Yeah, done. You just think you have the right to talk trash about him like that after everything they did to sacrifice that he did for you? And then Tsunade finally just kind of like, actually, I think in this version actually grabs his hand. Naruto's like, she just flips him. Naruto was crashing. He's like, to go a little Pacific Rim. First up, don't you ever put your hands on me. Second, don't you ever put your hands on me. It's like, you want to go outside? I'll put, Naruto goes for a sword. Like, I'll put way more than my hand on you. And she sees the sword. Like, oh, you really want to take this outside, Brad? Fine, let's go. And so they're going outside. They go outside. Now Naruto, again, despite the fact he's very pissed off, isn't stupid either. He knows, even though he'll release Benihime, he can't use a giant chunk of the techniques he has at his disposal because of where they are. They're in a street. They're in a public setting in the street. At best, Naruto can use his defensive technique with the Sing Benihime. He can use Shibari Benihime to bind her. And he can use, I can't remember the technique's name. What was the name? Hold on. What was that one's the counter technique? Hold on. Supani Benihime. So he can pretty much use that. He might even be able to might even be able to manage a shred because it's not as raw power as the general offensive attack is. It's more concentrated bursts and like a quick succession. It's more like pot shots, but like bladed. And so Naruto, draws his sword He's like, awaken, Benihime. It's like, and then you get the music right away. It's like, and Tsunade does kind of go a little like, wait a minute, I recognize that was my grandmother's sword. Would that mean? So it said you really are Kushina's boy, aren't you? For you to be able to find that blade, that's impressive. But you're never gonna hurt me with that, kid. Is that a fact? One finger is all I'm gonna need. And Naruto just comes in, blade coming in. He brings the blade down. She just boom. She puts some chakra in it though because the blade's still sharp. She's not, despite the fact she's drunk, she's also still pretty. She's relatively cognizant. So it shows you just how bad of a drinking problem she must have. But she blocks him with her blade. But she can actually feel like almost pierce her skin just a little bit. She's like, crap, he pierced my head. And she just literally forces him out. He goes flying. He's able to catch stuff, makes a couple clones. She's quick. She's looking away from her finger so as to not see the blood. She can feel it in her hand, but she quickly heals up her finger, so forth, so on. She's like, the kid's not bad. Comes in with blades, and she just cracks the ground with her finger, just lifts up some stones. He crashes through. She just boom smacks him. He makes he's sing Benihime, but unfortunately her strength is so great when he does that, just cracks right through the shield. That's how strong Tsunade honestly is. He's overly strong, and we also know that the shield can be cracked and damaged. Ichigo showed that, which actually shows you just how strong Ichigo's Getsugo was at that time. Because he cracked, maybe Urahara could actually control how much Ryatsu he's putting into the attack, but Yami couldn't break the technique with when he punched. Like when that shield didn't break when Yami's punch landed, but Ichigo's Getsugo caused it to erode a little bit. That might be just due to how much energy Urahara put into the attack. So who knows? Point being is that Naruto's just like, oh, crap. It's like, I gotta go after her. She don't go jutsu, and he just comes in with multiple clones. She just boom, 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 boom. All of a sudden, she hears the sound of chakra, like, Hans, and she sees the Rasengan there. It's like Naruto basically gives something similar to what he says here. It's like just because things haven't gone your way does not mean you get to disrespect the memories of those who came before you, Hokage or your loved ones. And that causes her to kind of go, get a little angry, but he's hitting her where it hurts. It's like, I'll prove you wrong. I'll become Hokage and prove them all wrong. Or I'll prove them all wrong when I become Hokage, because that's my dream. And she sees Nawaki there in his face, and he's got the Rasengan there. And she's a little shocked, not just because it's the Rasengan, but because it's a completed Rasengan. Like, wait, this isn't like before where Naruto still had the chakra coming out next. Now he has the full chakra there, but she cracks the ground and just and it lands and it hits the ground and it makes a big crater. He's about to get up and then until Jiraiya just starts like, all right, that's enough. I think you both made your points. The hell I did. I was like, seriously. Jiraiya, why teach that technique to a kid who will never be able to master it? Jiraiya's even like a little confused. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean? It seems to me like you got it down pretty well. It's like, please, we both know what I'm talking. Please, that kid will never be able to get that technique down. She's kind of in a denial phase right now. Like she doesn't want to believe what she just saw. At the same time, though, she's like, it's like, yeah, I know the technique still needs to be completed further. And so Naruto's like, fine. You want me to improve it even more? Just give me 3 days and I'll have technique down. Perfect. Because maybe there was like still some chakra leaking out or something. It wasn't like, it was like 95% perfect. Maybe it was like she saw like one little mistake or something like that. Naruto recognized or whatever. So yeah, I might hold you to that. Tell you what, I'll even throw in my necklace. But if not, I get everything in Froggy Ear. Which, by the way, you were going to steal that kid's wallet, Tsunade. Yes. Again, I do not agree with the terminology that the version of coping, apparently, that she was doing qualifies as coping. I don't agree with that. Now, whether I agree with it or not, that is that defined fact. So, but that doesn't mean. So the thing about stuff like that is, I feel like we devolve definitions as time goes on. I think that might have been what happened here with the term coping. Maybe that's what happened. But regardless, Naruto goes off and he spends the next couple of days training. So now he's still watching him occasionally, wondering if he's gotten it down. Naruto, though, because of Benihime, has at least enough awareness to know she's watching her, so he occasionally just sits down and meditates. He just talks with Benihime about what to do. Jiraiya and Tsunade ultimately have their conversation, and he threatens, like, if you are a threat to the Leaf Village in any way, shape, or form, I will kill you. And she's surprised by that. Ultimately, she drugs them. Like, she slipped me a Mickey. I did like that in the dome. She slipped me a Mickey. Sorry, I thought I heard something. So, anyway, so Jiraiya shows up. Obviously, Tsunade does not agree to go with Orochimaru's terms. Tries to attack him, and their fight begins. The gang eventually gets there as Tsunade is almost overcome with her fear of blood. But then she gets overcome with her fear of blood when Kabuto just cuts his hand. It's like, what? Don't try it, kid. Come on, it's like, I got this. Wicked Benihime. It's like, and he's getting ready to attack Naruto. And the truth is, you have no skill as a shinobi whatsoever. A samurai, maybe, but not a shinobi. And he's mocking Naruto a little bit, but it's also because, let's be honest, the reason he mocked is because he was worried about Naruto's potential, to be fair. And Naruto comes in, he's got the clones ready, Kabuto throws the blood in his face, but Naruto, even though when Naruto gets, blood in his eye, he still brings out Benihime, attacks with Benihime. Kabuto has to get the hell out of the way because he's not prepared to deal with an attack like that. He has to backtrack a little bit. Naruto gets the blood out of his hand. The clones are basically now on him, and Kabuto is actually now legitimately fighting Naruto. Meanwhile, Jiraiya's like, well, maybe he can't hold him off. All right. And as for you, and he goes after Orochimaru, summoning jutsu. And he's like, hey, boss. He's like, where the heck's your father? And so Naruto tries to help as well. That fails. Even though he's gotten better at this, the shadow or summoning jutsu, I do not see it being a reliable jutsu for Naruto at this time because he's not accessing the Fox chakra here. At least not at this moment. He could have, but he's also focusing on Kabuto as well. Meanwhile, Naruto is still, and the giant snakes get summoned. Naruto gets separated from Kabuto and gets attacked by the snake. Kabuto comes after Tsunade, who is protected by Shizune, who ultimately kind of gets taken down by Kabuto. Naruto, however, quickly gets out of the snake just as he did originally. Just kills it straight out with Benihime. He comes in, again, multiple clones coming in on both sides. Kabuto comes in to attack Tsunade, and Naruto just boom, grabs his hand. It's like, huh? It's like, shut up! Sing, Benihime! And he avoids Kabuto avoids it. Naruto, why don't you just give up? It's like you should give up trying to get me to give up. And it's like fine. Dreams, if you die here, you'll never become Hokage. Just let me do what I have to do, and you can go back and you can try to fulfill your dream. And obviously Naruto's just looking and staring and does like, you little brat. You just blew it all away. Dreams don't come true when you're dead. It's like, that's a good point. I guess you're never going to be able to, or I guess you're never reaching your dreams again. All of a sudden, Kabuto, who wasn't there for the Gaara fight, has no idea about this technique. Suddenly goes like, what is this? Chakra? Shibari Benihime. And I never remember the name quite. I know Hisobe Benihime, but then and what is this chakra? And Orochimaru was like, what is that technique? And then Naruto obviously stabs the blade into the net. Hisobe Benihime, Juzu Suzuki. The playing with fire, Benihime. Yes, Kabuto's like, sees the orbs of fire, and Tsunade's actually watching. What the heck? Holy crap! And then boom, just giant explosion. Everyone is kind of rocked by it. It's like, holy crap. He mentioned he had that technique, but I was wondering how strong it was. That kid really is scary. And the smoke clears. Naruto's going to Tsunade until he senses something, and all of a sudden, he's there. There's a chakra skull hits him in the shoulder. His arm goes just dead there. It's like, ugh! And he's able to kind of slash his sword to keep Kabuto at bay, and he's looking up, and he sees Kabuto burnt to freaking hell, chunks of flesh filling in because he's got an insane healing factor thanks to his chakra capability, or chakra technique. But he's also not in a good shape either. Like, he's kind of in a similar state to where he was at when Naruto hit him with the Rasengan. Like, he kind of goes on the ground, like, damn it, you. And he's healing himself up. Naruto, meanwhile, is trying to get his arm up. It's like, damn it. I can't. It's like, oh, and it's not here. Let me. He's like, are you sure? It's like, just shut up and let me do this. It's like, come on, come on. And it's like, and Kabuto's healing himself up as best he can. Finally just gets his chakra scalpel ready. Just, come on. It's like, Naruto's like, it's all right, I got this. And he blocks uses the technique to block the first chakra scalpel. But he has another one because like, that technique only works if you can stop the attack. And Naruto was able to avoid Elite Lip. It gets hit like basically right here in the lower flanks, and just finally Naruto's like, get you, Rasengan! It's like, crap! And then gets blasted back again by the Rasengan. And then just Kabuto just gets blasted, hits that rock, and this time he's down for the count. He's not dead, but he's down for the count. He's like, he's coughing up blood. Just crap. And then Naruto's like, he's having some trouble breathing. He's like, kind of like when you like are having like that sharp pain in your side from like too much gas or something like that. It's like, no, please, no, you're gonna be okay. You're gonna be okay. Naruto's just kind of like resting on the ground just a little bit. Hey, don't forget, I won our bet. You owe me. He's not gonna. He doesn't pass out here. So you're right. To be Hokage's your dream. Just once more, I'll put it all on the line for him. And she puts her necklace around him, and she kind of gives him a kiss on the forehead. It's like, I really have a way with the ladies, don't I? It's like you really are an idiot. And then obviously Orochimaru comes in. It's like, no. He's like, Grandma, and he can't move. He's just he's conscious, but he's kind of floored at the moment. Like he can't do anything at the moment. Finally, Tsunade gets slashed, gets over a fear of blood, and the three-way deadlock happens between Kabuto, Orochimaru, and Jiraiya. Orochimaru going actually after Kabuto to help him up, allowing him to use the summoning jutsu. Everything else there goes about the same. Not much else to go over, really. And then, except for Naruto is awake when she declares that she is going to be the 5th Hokage. And so, he accepts the fact that she's going to be the 5th Hokage. And, I mean, he's not overly happy, especially with how she's kind of acted in the past, but he accepts the fact. Because he was there when she kind of admitted she was wrong and admitted that he won. So ultimately, I think he can overcome whatever like issue he might have in this version pretty quick. And so they head back. We won't touch on too much here, but we'll touch on a little bit. Sasuke and Lee are both going to recover from their injuries as such. She becomes the 5th Hokage. All well and good. And then we would end off here with Naruto and Sakura going to visit Sasuke in the hospital. Now, Sakura is not as mean towards Naruto here, I don't think. Like, she doesn't whack him or anything like that. Even if he makes a kind of, not a snide comment, but a bit of a make fun of comment, a little bit poking fun at kind of comment. But he's still, they're still talking. They're, talking about, Sasuke, oh, wow, we had this great, cool, Lee Tsunade come back. It was awesome. And Sasuke does just glare after she gives him the apple, just like, Naruto. It's like, what the hell? What, Sasuke? What's going on? Why are you glaring at me like that? I was like, I want you to fight me. What? Fight me right now. Well, look, I mean, we can spar after. And remember, they've had multiple sessions of sparring where Naruto they've either tied, or I actually imagine Naruto is, granted, with the Sharingan, it's evened them out a lot, and Sasuke's even pulled through on a couple of them, but him seeing him beat Shikaku outright, him and Gaara outright, him seeing Itachi want him, not Sasuke, him overhearing how they brought Tsunade back at the face of Orochimaru and Kabuto and stuff like that, and having the curse mark influencing him to some degree, causing corruption to his spirit and soul a little bit. That's still going to push him over the edge. And he just says, like, fight me right now. What, you were so eager to fight me in the Chunin exams. What, are you scared now? It's like, what are you talking about? Look, you want to have a spar. We can have a spar as soon as the doctor gives you the go-ahead. I don't want to spar, Naruto. I want you to fight me. And he yells it, and he's got a Sharingan kind of blaring. He's like, and Naruto's like, it's like, what's going on with him? And he's thinking on it, and he wonders, and because he is a lot more versed in seals here, he didn't use any in the Kabuto fight. That wasn't really the whole point of that fight. The whole point of that fight was the Rasengan and learning it and proving his worth to Tsunade kind of stuff. But yeah, because he's been studying seals, and they looked at the seal initially when the curse mark seal when he got it. He does know, and he's heard about it from Jiraiya as well, that he's wondering, is this the curse mark influencing him? I was like, well, so are you gonna? And Sasuke just keeps prodding. He's like, are you really just gonna stand there slack-jawed like a scared little coward? And Naruto's giving him a guard. He knows he's being goaded. Same time though, he also knows the only thing that's gonna shut him up is a fight. It's like, fine, meet you on the roof in 10 minutes. It's like, why not now? I have to use the restroom. It's like, fine. That'd be a great little kind of joke. I remember episode 2.5 Men, Seth Green's character came and he's like, I'll beat you at 4 o'clock. It's like, after 4 o'clock. It's like, why after 4 o'clock? I have swimming lessons. So yeah. So Naruto and Sasuke are gonna have their fight on the top of the bare roof. Naruto's just like, what's going on? It's like Sasuke. And Sasuke goes first. And Naruto's like, and he's like, well, Naruto, you're not really going to fight him. I'm going to do what I have to do. Don't worry. I'm not going to try to kill him or anything. But some things, I think I know what's up with Sasuke, and it's that damn curse mark. We got to figure out a way to get rid of it. But for now, I think he's feeling a little inadequate for some reason. Why would he feel angry? He's the best. And Naruto's like, I mean, I'm kind of going. So, again, to quote a movie I watched recently with my girlfriend and my dad, The Accountant with John Berthal and Ben Affleck. It's like, some of my clients are dangerous. I don't know if you know, I'm kind of dangerous too. It's like, yeah, he's the best, but yeah, don't worry. I'll try to get him out of his funk without trying to kill him. And he just kind of gives a reassuring smile. And Sakura, she's not blushing or anything, but again, they kind of have a lot more of a brother-sister relationship, and she feels a lot more comfortable with him. So I feel like, yeah, they'd give each other a reassuring. She'd give a reassuring smile back, like, thank you. And so they go off on the route to have their fight, and that's where we're gonna leave part 6 before the fight, right before then. So anyway. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy it. Like, comment, share, subscribe. As always, if you want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know we'll do a review of it at some point. Hit that bell if you want to be notified, and I'll see you folks next time. Later.